Going back to that moment of the episode where Zach is having a sweet moment with Michael and kind of reflecting on his own childhood, like, yeah, I had an older brother, but, we didn't really get, raised or grew up together, but it's going to be different between you and, your little sister because you're about to be a big brother. And it's like, oh, do you want another little sister or brother? Kind of playfully indicating that he has the intention of eventually getting Fatima pregnant and then having another baby by her. And some fans, I was looking at the comment section on the short that I did about this particular line of dialogue, and it's really split. Fans who don't want Fatima to get pregnant, and I'm in full agreement with that. And then also the fact that Zach is like taking things too lightly. It's just the fact that, man, he's really not taking into account Fatima's feelings about this, because Zach is a very emotional character, but at the same time, it's like he's just making light of this situation without fully recognizing what he's putting Fatima through. Because before the freaking baby shower, she literally said, this isn't how I envision my life or my future. And I think Fatima, and this goes for a number of women out there, you deserve to be more than just a baby mama. And I'm not just saying like if you're the only woman to have children by a man, like you deserve to be more than a baby mama. Like, if you lay down with a person, or I'm speaking to the men, being a man myself, like if you lay down with a woman and get intimate, and then a child is birthed from that, moment or night of pleasure, whatever you want to call it, whenever it takes place during the day, you should have the intention of getting married to that person. But then again, that's just my own old-fashioned beliefs, because you all know I'm waiting until marriage before I do, the 1-2 step. That way, in the event of some, child coming out of it, at least I know, hey, it's with my wife. But it's just one of those things where you look at today's culture, and who do we got, like Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, just to name a couple off the top of my head, that are well known to be black men, successful black men who have baby mamas, to spare, or future. That's another one. And it's just one of those things where, yeah, if you got the money, you could financially take care of the kids and make sure, all is well, that they won't, ever struggle, because they'll have, money to grow up on. But at the same time, when you look at a woman like Fatima, she definitely doesn't give off the vibes of, the real life women out there who rush to be baby mama number 37 to Nick Cannon, or baby mama number 13 to this football player, or baby mama 27 to this rapper, just to kind of get a check, because it's like, oh yeah, if I get a child by so-and-so, that's like my guaranteed early retirement fund because of child support and whatnot. And it's just one of those things where I never envisioned, or I never saw Fatima as that kind of woman, because who was she before Zach came into her life romantically, or even in her life in general? A strong-willed, independent black woman who had a dream for herself. Go to school, get her law degree. She isn't she like interning at the law firm, if I'm not mistaken, for experience and whatnot. And she had her own place, her own car, her own money, and everything. But then you have Zach, and I'm not blaming Zach for messing things up for Fatima, because, and I'm going to keep bringing this up, I don't care how many times I got to do it, Fatima has a choice. She always has the power to leave. Now, some people are like, well, Jeremy, if she just ups and leaves, you'll just say, there go Fatima running again. But yeah, and I probably will say, like, yeah, she's running only if she decides to run back to Zach. But the thing is, what irked me about Fatima, what annoyed me about Fatima in like Sistas season 5 and parts of like Zatima season 1 and 2 is the hypocrisy, where it's like, don't say, I love you, Zach, I trust you, Zach, and this, that, and the third. But then as soon as a shred of doubt comes from a quote unquote reliable source, before confirming things with Zach, you just immediately assume the worst, like Karen would. And then you just threaten to pack your stuff and leave. And it's like, well, go on then. But no, in this situation, I would not blame Fatima for leaving, because it's like, I get it, you love Zach, but how much love does a person, and look, I get it, blended families are a thing. And, there are men who marry women who have multiple kids by multiple dads, and you have women who marry men and who have, kids already. And like, hey, it's your prerogative. Like for me, I don't want a pre-made family. I know there are other people who don't, want to get married to someone with children. But then again, there are people who do. And that's completely fine. What I'm saying is, when it comes to Fatima, she should definitely think long and hard about whether or not she wants to be the future Miss or Mr. and Mrs. Zachary Taylor, because of the fact that look at everything that comes with Zach. You're forever going to be linked to Karen. You're forever going to be reminded that you were never the first to have his children, because first it was the stripper Heather, and then, the bitter ex Karen, who's disrespected you more times than Tyler Perry has written Medea stories. And I'm just sitting up here like, Fatima, you deserve way better. And look, even though I'm not a fan of homewrecker characters, when you look at Zatima season 2, Paul, I ain't gonna lie, he seems to be the better option for Fatima than Zach in the current season of Sistas. I hate to say it, because for me, it's like, Paul seems like a good dude, but at the same time, you knew this girl was engaged, and like, you literally went out of your way to just be the side dude until things broke off, because you saw, Fatima's kind of buckling. I don't think that relationship is going to last. And then it's like, no, I mean, he's divorced. Valerie is like his ex-wife, but as far as I know, continuity-wise, they don't have kids. So it just seems to me that Fatima could do way better for herself, but she's settling. And it's kind of funny when you think about it, because when you think about what Tyler Perry said during the Keep It Positive Sweetie interview he was on, in regards to like black women should like lower their standards, black women who have money and whatnot, like, instead of trying to go for like the 1% black man that everyone's going for, why don't you give the dude who works at like Foot Locker or whatever a shot? If he's, reliable, if he's making money legally, he's not just sitting around wanting to be taken care of. If he's contributing in some way, why not give him a chance? And it's kind of funny when you think about that perspective of him versus the writing that goes on in the shows. Is really telling. But yeah, I think that Zach is definitely making light of the situation. It wouldn't surprise me if he would be eager to get Fatima knocked up after Karen's babies are born. Honestly, heck, we know he wants to get married to Fatima right then and now. I mean, there have been a number of times during the season like, so when should we talk about getting married and whatnot? And it's just like, there's a lot going on, Zach. I don't think marrying Fatima in the midst of, all the drama with the babies is the best thing right now. I mean, you have a special needs son. Then you have a baby on the way. And then for some reason, everybody's trying to make it seem like he's responsible for both kids, which is complete BS. But then on top of that, I wouldn't even think it's fair to Fatima. And hey, things happen, but I would just hate it if she is pregnant while Zach is caring for his new infant with Karen. That's just, if Fatima feels like she's being, overshadowed and sidelined, and being, Zach is being inconsiderate of her feelings now while he's, doting over Karen while she's pregnant and whatnot, I can't even fathom her being pregnant and then, Karen just having her babies, because then I could definitely see the bitterness of Karen come out when Zach isn't able to, quote unquote, step up and tend to his daughter as often as he, quote unquote, should, because, hey, well, my fiance is over here pregnant as well. Plus I already have Michael. I think Zach is trying to juggle. He's like, he's looking, oh, I'm about to be a dad. Hey, Fatima's pregnant. And it's just like, as soon as reality hits, that's when you start stressing out. Remember towards the end, the beginning, or somewhere in season 7, I forgot when, he started freaking out over realizing how expensive Michael is. It's like, yeah, I got full custody. But it's like, yo, these doctor's appointments and going to the special school and all. It's like, the bills, I got to get my money up. Now, why does he feel like things are going to continue to be quote unquote fun after Karen's child is born? And then what about when Fatima, you know, in your mind, you want to get her pregnant too? And she's going to have to step out of being out of, you know, going to work, and the pregnancy could affect, you know, her going to school and whatnot. Because guess what? You're probably still going to expect her to take care of Michael. Thank goodness for Miss Rose. But Zach just, yeah, I don't know. Zach wants to play house. Zach wants to play daddy. But when the bills come due, that's when he starts freaking out. He needs to slow his roll, play with his the side chick. I know some people probably forgot about it. Zatima season 2, look it up. Fatima got Zach a side chick. He ought to just, you know, spend some quality time with that before he even thinks of getting somebody else pregnant again. Because I don't think Zach is in a place where he needs another kid. I think Fatima needs to reevaluate the situation. But what do I know? What do I know? So, yeah, I just feel like there's way too much going on for Fatima to be pregnant. And heck out. Hey, it's funny. Zatima season 1, I'm like, why the hell are they getting engaged right now? They don't need to be engaged. Zatima season 2 cliffhanger. Why the hell is Fatima pregnant? Her being pregnant right now is just horrible. I don't like it. So let's talk about it in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.